Hello, welcome to the 8-week hip reset. If you don't know me, my name is Ravi. I am known as the Supple Athlete if you check me out on Instagram. I'm on a mission to help you move pain-free. And I believe one of the most efficient ways to do that is actually working on your joints to act like joints. Now in this series, we're focusing on the hips, because I see a lot of folks having hip issues, and the hip issue just doesn't translate to the hips. It doesn't just end there. It affects your knees, it affects your lower back, it affects the whole kinetic chain. So if your hips suck, your life sucks. And I don't want that for you. Now, the 6-week shoulder reset that I did was very popular. Week 1 is always going to be available on YouTube. The remaining, just like the week 1 of this hip reset series. Each week we're gonna focus on 2 different workouts. One is rotational, one is linear. We're going to be going through workout A, week 1. Pay attention to the cues and pretend that I am there coaching you through all the different ranges of motion that I'm coaching Nate. And trust me, if you see this video for the second time, you're gonna pick some things up that you didn't pick up in the first round. So every time you do this, you'll become a little bit more proficient in it. Hip class. Now, today, usually we start our hip cars in the standing position, but taking into consideration that you guys are beginners and probably balance is not the best suit for you to be able to truly isolate that hip and understand the different motions that goes within it. We'll do it in the sideline position. We start with the hip cars and we're just gonna focus on some rotation in very elementary levels, okay? So let's get to it. Let's do it. All right, go down. Sideline position. There we go. Okay, so hip cars, you guys should be familiar with it because you didn't skip the intro with the cars. But this is a little bit different because it's in the sideline position. So what we do is you lift the leg, externally rotate a little bit. Imagine there's a sheet of paper here. You want to pull it towards yourself. Good. Now you're going to open and abduct. Once you reach here, you're going to fight for a little bit more abduction, which is linear, which is driving this towards me. Then drive this down a little bit. Down, 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 because most of you probably don't have that great of an internal rotation yet. Now from here, create tension, push this out a little bit more first, then create that internal rotation. Drive, 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 drive. Good, pause. Use your glutes to drive this bad boy back. Drive this into the floor as well so you don't compensate on that side, you're not leaning back. And then retrace, open up. Rotate, end up in the position you were before you initiated that internal rotation, and then drive this guy down as you externally rotate on that sheet of paper that you brought forward. Make sense? Great. Let's go one more time. Bring that sheet of paper, imaginary one, towards yourself. Open up. Give me abduction. Give me abduction. Give me abduction. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Pause here. Drop this guy down a little bit more. Pause here. Oh, drive this towards my hand. Don't rotate just yet. Drive towards my hand. Abduct, 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 abduct. Yes, pause. Rotate internally. There you go. Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving. Then allow yourself to go back. This drops. This drives. Pause. There you go. Now retrace your steps. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Rotate. That's what I'm talking about. Now go find that sheet of paper. External rotation. It's called a controlled articular, which is your joint rotation. So we need to challenge that rotation continuously. Flip. Por favor. Let's get it. All right. Create some tension. Drive your hands into the floor. That's going to solidify your top half. Now, let's find that sheet of paper on the ground. Imagine it's Margot Robbie's number. You want to have it. Externally rotate and then open. 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 Pause. Drive this down. Open out more. Drive this down, open out, more, drive, internal rotation, let's go. Yes, keep going, drive this back. And then retrace, open up, and external rotation. Yes, find that sheet of paper. Now push it away. You don't need Margot Robbie's number. Now pull it back again because you changed your mind. Now you want it again. Now drive up. Keep driving this into my hand. Drive, open. No rotation just yet. Open. Just drive it down, open. Internally rotate right now. Push back. Keep challenging that rotation. And then retrace the steps. External rotation. There you go. Okay. Now let's start with internal rotation of your hips. Okay? Ready? Let me explain what we're going to do. We're going to do a pails and rails. If you've seen the introductory videos, you're familiar with the concept of pails and rails, but let me just refresh your memory real quick on what they are. So in this position, I'm going to have you lie on the floor completely. You can be here, okay? But whatever you're comfortable with, either here or all the way down. From there, if you just allow the knees to just drop like this is internal rotation. This bad boy is going to go on top of the other one, and as a result of the weight of this whole leg, and you're not putting it like this, the whole leg is on top, that weight and gravity is pulling internally on this femur relative to your pelvis. So this guy is going further down as a result of the weight of this. But a lot of times when you guys do this, if you are limited in internal rotation and if you don't have that much awareness of what it is that you need to feel, this pelvis will pop off like this. We don't want that, okay? We want the pelvis to remain straight, so both butt cheeks, the top of it is on the floor. And then as I try to maintain that position, I'm allowing this leg to pull my right one a little bit deeper into the stretch. We hold that for 2 minutes. After the 2-minute stretch, the pails contraction is you guys driving this outwards like this. And the intent is external rotation. The rails contraction is you driving this guy further deeper into internal rotation without compensation and without you feeling any type of pinching or pain, okay? Now, when we do pails is always a slow and gradual build-up in intensity. So if I go pails contraction, give me 10%, you give me this, okay? But at 10% of the maximum effort you can give me, and we can work our way up to 100. Rails contraction is the opposite motion, so it's you actively driving down into internal rotation, okay, without any support. The leg goes down. And it's not a slow, gradual buildup, it's immediate. So if I worked my way up to 40%, held pails for 40 seconds, 40% for 40 seconds, when I say rails, I want you guys to give me 40% of your max effort for 40 seconds, okay? After that, we will explore and see how much deeper you can get into the stretch. And then I'll guide you through the other exercises as we go along. So let's start with internal rotation because that connects to the deepest stuff close to the capsule. And then we work our way into external rotation. Let's get it. Internally rotate both hips, okay? And now lift all of this guy on top. You feel that tug? All right, that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna hold it for 2 minutes. Now the first set of any pails and rails is a 2-minute stretch. The second set and the third set is not. So you can get immediately into it if you're running through this workout for a second time. Right? So don't stress out about the fact that oh my God, every time I'm going to do a pails and rails, I need a 2-minute stretch. No, some people who are super flexible also don't necessarily need to hold a 2-minute stretch. You can use this pails and rails set as a priming tool before you get into other end range dominant stuff. But as a beginner, it's good to learn the patience requires to improve your mobility. And pails and rails, the 2-minute stretch, allows you to calm down your nervous system and get into the deep position that you need to get to before we apply those end range isometrics. And you got 55 seconds left. By the way, now see how the pelvis is coming up just a tiny bit, okay? And Nate has good internal rotation, so this position is probably not the most ideal position for him because he can get into the deeper ranges. Bend this guy a little bit more too. There you go. So you can make it a little bit difficult. The more flexion you give it, the little more difficult it gets. And push this down actively, right, this side. So you're using this force to just drive this down. Good. Y'all ready? Let's go 10%. Driving this leg towards the outside, not letting it happen with this. You're loading this side of the hip. Give me 20%. Give me 30%. Give me 40%. And hold. And switch to rails. Remove that leg completely, put it on the ground. Active rails contraction. Twenty more seconds. Oh yeah. You can change the angle of your knee if any position bugs you. You're totally welcome to do that. Now relax. Put the other leg on top again and explore and see if you can get a little bit deeper without this guy coming up. Push it back. Actively push this back. Make sure the glutes don't leave my hand. There you go. See? That's it. Now, imagine you have a scale underneath that butt that is internally rotated on the femur that is internally rotated. You don't want to see a decrease on that scale because you're leaning towards that side. Now, the next exercise is put this leg down on the floor completely. Create a ton of tension in your body. And then give me external rotation all the way. Create tension everywhere. Don't let anything else move. Just drive this out like a windshield wiper. Open, 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 drive. Now a lot of you guys, that other side would want to come in. Don't let it. Now close this bad boy. Windshield wiper, close. Don't let the pelvis come up. Only move this leg in isolation. Keep driving. Keep driving. Good. Now open. Windshield wiper, open. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep driving. Keep driving. Now windshield wiper, close. Last one. Drive in, open, and then internally rotate the other hip. Place the leg on top. No, the other hip. There we go. And then once you're there, you can alter your position with the knee, with the ankle, with the hip, anything, right? I'll have Nate here. I'll have this guy more here. See, there's more of a tug on this side. You want to feel that tug. You want that hip to be fully internally rotated. Sit. 2 minutes. Then we're going to get it. Breathe in, 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. Don't let this come up. One more minute. Forty more seconds. Guys, pay attention to what the pelvis is doing. You got to be constantly scanning your body. That's how you're going to build the awareness with it, right? That's how you're going to have better proprioception in your movements as well. You just constantly got to be scanning your body and understanding what these different compensations that you might be having feel like and how you can combat them consciously with conscious effort, with active effort, until by default you don't do that anymore, right? Give me 10%, pails, drive this off. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Actually 40% because we did 40 on the other side, and hold 40% for 40 seconds. Don't allow this side to, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go, rails. Do not allow this to lift. Great. Ten more seconds. Good, now lift this guy up on top of that. Explore and see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Take a breath in, push the air out. Good. Just let it sink in. Remove the leg. Now open out. And let's close it all the way. Open out. And close all the way. One more rep after this. Then we're going to switch into external rotation. There we go. Great. Before we move to external rotation, there's one last thing I want us to do, is that your guy's going to grab your yoga blocks, just one block. We're going to put it in between Nate's thighs and then lift up. And we're going to internally rotate both hips at the same time as we squeeze this like our life depends on it for a minute count. Let's go. Squeeze at the end, and then close. There we have it. Now you have a little bit access to internal rotation, so when you do this exercise that is on a lot of POV trends online, it actually works. You actually know what the hell it is that this exercise is doing. It's really working on those internal rotators. We expanded usable range of motion. Now it's time to teach those tissues how to produce force actively. So we can call upon them when we need them in our darkest times. For example, in a bottom position of a squat. Because those are dark times. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, you're going to need to go against a wall. You're going to need a chair or an ottoman for this next exercise because it's going to look like this. Now, if you really want to take your joint health seriously and create robust, resilient joints that can stand the test of time, and you're not just doing one-off classes you see here and there from Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, join the Supple Athlete Plus community. And don't just take my word for it. See what the members are saying. Because that community is not just a series of programs like the 8-week hip reset, the 6-week shoulder reset, Age Like Wine, Train Your Spine, 12-week beginner to intermediate program, and much more. It's beyond that. It's a tool, a strength building, joint nourishing, pain preventing tool that you can use to put in your toolbox and integrate it with your form of training forever. You can find a link in my bio. But enough talking. Enjoy this class. This next exercise because it's going to look like this. You can go against the wall and put your feet on the wall. My wall is black and he's a size 15 and I don't want a giant foot mark on the wall here. So we're going to do it on this, but the wall is actually going to be easier because with this, your foot is going to slip. Now I'm going to put a kettlebell there for Nate, but or I'm just going to keep it in place. But the idea behind this is, by the way, you don't need to put anything under your head. I'm just doing it because it's just comfortable right now to show you guys. When you're here, this leg will externally rotate, right? And will allow you to find a stretch in that external rotator position, okay? Now, if you don't feel a huge stretch, it's fine, right? What you can do is that you can alter your position. Think about this tailbone. Just try to pull your tailbone back. You create like a bowing effect for those tissues to accentuate the stretch. Okay. Now, the deeper I go in, the more external rotation I'm in, obviously. The less. So find a happy medium that, because I want you to do pails and rails here. The pails is you trying to drive this leg by rotating it internally, right? So you're loading the outer side of the hip first by creating that internal rotation effort. And the rails is you trying to create more of an external rotation. Because you're at your end range, you're barely gonna move, right? But if you're too deep, you might feel the pails, but when I say rails, there's nothing for you. So we don't want that because you want to find those inner thigh tissue stuff to actually engage when you apply that. So go to a position that you can actually feel some stuff working when you apply the rails contraction. We're going to do pails and rails. After the pails and rails, we're going to remove this and I'm going to guide you through the next exercise for it. And then we'll go from there. Okay? Let's get it. Okay, let's get them. Okay, don't worry about if your butt is lifting off. Just alter your position that your spine is, you're not like crammed into that position. Okay, find a stretch on the outer portion of the glutes, right? There you go. And as you apply force into internal rotation, when we do the rails, don't let your knee come in like this. This remains here. The effort is coming through the femur. The upper leg bone is trying to rotate this way and rotate this way to apply the force that you're going to feel. So the intent, all of the motion is happening at the upper leg bone. This is just there, okay? 2-minute stretch. 2-minute stretch, and then we'll start. Whenever in pails and rails, you reach 60% and above, which you won't go today there, we apply max irradiation, you create tension throughout the rest of your body. And the idea behind this is I'm going to give you a handshake example. If I were to shake your hand and ask you to squeeze my hand, only using the muscles of your hand, don't even let your forearm get tight or your bicep, the squeeze that you can give me is probably not that impressive. But then I'll ask you, I'm like, okay, use your forearm muscles to squeeze my hand. It's going to be a little bit more impressive. I'm like, use your biceps as well, squeeze it. It's going to be a little bit more impressive. Then I'm like, okay, root your feet into the floor, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs. Just try to break my arm using all the muscles in your body. You're probably going to crush my hand, right? If I'm not trying to squeeze your arm back. So that's why when we reach 60% of MVC, maximum voluntary contraction, in a PALS contraction, you create max effort throughout the rest of the body. 25 seconds left. Okay, ready? Let's get them. 10%. 20%. 30%. 40%. If you guys can go to 50, let's go to 50. And we're going to hold that 50%. $15 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch to rails. Squeeze. Imagine this is a scale. You want to see a decrease on that scale. Even if you don't move, it doesn't matter. Nate is not moving. But the tissues are getting loaded in that end range position because he's creating the effort of which that would potentially cause his leg to move more into external rotation. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Good. Let's do the other leg. Okay. Find a position. It might be slightly different or wildly different than the other side. Okay? And if it's wildly different than the other side, then you know that we need to work on this more. So go to the on-demand workout section. Go to the external rotation exercise we just did. There's videos for it. And just do multiple sets of that sprinkled throughout your week. Like double up the volume of that side in the first phase of your training. But for now, 2-minute stretch. And remember, only the first set is a 2-minute stretch. The second and the third set, you can get straight to it. So if we were doing a second set here, I would just jump right back and I would do the pails and rails again. $50 more seconds to go. $30 more seconds. 10 more seconds. Okay, let's go 10% drive down. Let's go 20%. Let's go 30%. Driving into internal rotation. This is rotating this way. Give me 40%. Give me 50%, and let's hold it at 50%. Then we switch to rails. It's an immediate 50%. It's not a slow, gradual buildup. It's not 100%. 50% of your max effort, because if it's more than that, then you wouldn't be able to hold it as long as we're holding it right now. You got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's switch to rails for 1. There we go. Keep going. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Great job. Now, the next exercise, I'm going to remove this. Is something called the passive range hold. So, get back to in that position. Put this other leg on top. Hug this leg. Pull it all the way back, right? Now, so this is your passive range of motion, right? Now, I'm going to ask you to just let go of this and remove the passive support, but try to keep this here using the effort, right? So relax. If I was helping him, I would just pull this here into his massive range, and then I'm going to remove the support, and I'm going to ask him not to let it go back. Relax. We're going to do that. You're going to pull in your leg, create that external rotation tension. Once you created that tension and that effort, then you remove the support, okay? Don't remove the support and then try. Create the tension, then move. 5-second count, 8 repetitions. Let's go. Remove the support, create tension, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Grab it again. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Good. Remove it and let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3. Drive back. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. Let's switch to the other side. Let's get them. And remove the support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. Let's remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. Good job. Now what I want you guys to do is to get into the sideline position. We're going to finish up with some cars and we're good to go. So sideline position, 2 repetitions. Update your nervous system. Update your hips. Update your life. Let's go. Pull that sheet of paper. Get that external rotation. Open. Drive down. Internally rotate. Drive back. Retrace the steps. That's one. Let's go one more. That's two. Flip. So open out. Internally rotate. Nice. Retrace. Let's go one more. Wonderful. Relax. That's it. That's going to be your hip workout. This is going to be for the first phase. I hope you enjoyed it half as much as Nate did. And until next time, stay supple. Quick note that all these workouts are scheduled in this way that the second week that you do this, okay, you are doing an extra set. So what I want you guys to do when you go through that internal rotation set, rewind, past the 2-minute stretch, right? Do the exercises one more time because you don't need to hold a 2-minute stretch anymore on the second set. For all the exercises, except the cars. For the third week of the first phase, you do 3 sets. For the fourth week, you do 4, okay? And we'll go from there. See you next time.